Welcome to the talk show of Sunday Night Live with the wisest women.
Welcome to the Sunday Night Live show with Mary
And Mother Teresa.
We are the wisest women, and we are here asking questions to the youth about God.
Welcome our local
Special guest, Matthew,
to our podcast.
come on in.
We have a couple questions because we feel like the youth aren't involved enough with God.
First question. As Christians, we try to follow in the way of Jesus. What does that mean to you?
Well, Jesus was always talking about how we should treat our neighbors like we want to be treated. Some people would say that they don't treat themselves right, but what he's really trying to say is that you shouldn't treat people like they're different than you. Let's say that they're of another race or gender, you should treat them the same. You should treat them with love and respect and kindness, just as you want to be shown love, respect, and kindness.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Next question.
Jesus said that loving our neighbors is the most important way to follow him. He spent a lot of time helping people who were not loved by the community. Is it difficult or easy for you to follow Jesus?
I'd say it depends who you are. For me, I'd say it's pretty easy because I understand that life, people, and community matters. Meaning, if you want to have a strong community, which of course I want to have a strong community, it means I can get help in my daily life and other people can get help in their daily life. So that means it's really easy for me to treat people kindly when I know that no matter how, like what I do, what I say, as long as I'm kind, it's always going to come back to me because they're in my community.
Good. Wow. Now, do you have any questions for us?
Well, if I had to pick one, how do you guys think the church could actually help people follow in the way of Jesus?
I've thought quite a bit about this one in particular, and I think that the church could be more welcoming and just like not judge people on how they think or like what they believe in, and they just want a welcoming community and to be with God and to pray and be loved.
Yeah, I agree. Now we have another question for you. How do you think would make going to church and participating in church events more exciting or meaningful? Please share examples.
Well, a lot of kids don't believe in the value of community, and you kind of understand why, especially in this area. A lot of kids who go to school with us live in the country, and some of them don't go to church. But when you talk to the ones who do go to church, you realize pretty quickly that they have a lot of friends in the school. So, if we wanted to advertise what it means to go to church and what are the benefits of going to church, one, we could say you'd make a lot of friends. But I also think the overall look of churches and their past and just the way it feels when you step into a church, for some people that might want to make them leave. It's not as much about having community and like talking with everybody. It's more about going there to solely worship God through mindless prayer, not thinking about what you're saying, stuff like that. We need to advertise it more about think about your relationship with God, think about the value of community, and think about why you are going to church.
Okay.
Do you think that churches and different religions will ever agree and do things together even if we don't always agree?
Definitely not. There's no way. There's too many stubborn people who don't think other religions have the same value as their own. Which some religions aren't that great, I guess. But I think overall, every religion tries to preach the same thing, the value of community, like I've said about a million times. Because people are social beings, and we go to different places to commune, get together, and have fun. So it's really hard for people of other religions who have had these practices for thousands of years to just up and say, I'm going to go to a different community, or as an entire country, we're going to start worshiping this new faith. They get together as a community under this one faith, and they have been doing that for thousands of years, and that's okay, because we can totally invite them to join ours, and they can share their values with us if they have different ones, and we can share our values with them. So I don't think it's as much as merging every single church, and more as having that option open for other people of different races, ethnicities, religious practices to join our church and commune with us on a daily basis.
Do you have any more questions for us?
Well, if I had to pick another one, I'd probably say, what world problems do you think the church could give more attention to? Because that's what Jesus would do.
I think that world hunger is a big problem, and a great way that we solve it is by giving canned food items. That's a good way. I think we should continue doing that.
I agree.
Personally, I think not only to appeal to people of other cultures, but to the homeless and things like that, is that each church should be less of a building where you can only worship, more of a building where you can live and literally have a family. There are people who would rather go somewhere else and live somewhere else than be with their family. And that's not the best decision for very young people, unless obviously both their parents have passed away, unfortunately. But for older people who maybe have a lot of addictions and their family has passed away, or their family's been really rude to them and not treated them kindly because of the decisions they made in life, the church should be a building where we can offer them transportation, sleep, and food. And I think that's awesome because not only does the church not have to pay taxes, meaning they can use some of that money to not only change the building into that, but they can also gain more and more of a population within the church, which will make them money on a day-to-day basis. Because those people go out and offer other people who are in the same situation the same kind of love that the church showed them, and then those people will find the church and it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Thanks for coming and listening in to our talk show.
Have a good one. Bye.
Look good.
Tune in again next Sunday with the Wisest Women.